Week 1 of the San Diego high school football season is here. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with the first installment of the podcast presented by Palomar Insurance. For this one, it's just going to be me as a little head floating around. So if you were looking for a specific game, I will move my head depending on what game I am talking about. Going to try and get to all of them in 10 minutes or so. As it's week 1, I say this all the time preseason. You don't know about a team until you really get going. So for a lot of this, it's week 2 and beyond. There will be much more in-depth previews and coverage and breakdowns of games. Week 1, this is just going to be Cliff Notes thoughts, just a little prepper for everybody. Let's get excited. All of these games to me are going to, I will use the verbal crutch. Oh, this is an interesting game. I'm very interested in all these games, and I hope you are too. First game up, Holtville and West Hills. Holtville is a smaller school. West Hills is a bigger school. I think this is a fun matchup in terms of when you look back on it in 10 weeks, how is it going to play out for strength of schedule? I want Fallbrook and Escondido to be a brawl. Like, this could be a two teams that the two teams here that deserve a W, and I'm looking for this one to be an early week 1, like light up the scoreboard one. Classical Academy in San Pasqual is a small school, big school thing, and is a great opportunity for both schools to show off different parts of their season. Classical Academy is looking for just hang in there, proof of concept. This will be good for strength of schedule. San Pasqual needs to avenge their section finals loss and show that they are ready to roll again. South County, North County, I love this one. Otay, South Bay, North County. Otay Ranch, new head coach. RBV is a team that I think is on the upward trend. Newer head coach, so this will be a fun battle no matter what. Christian taking on Rancho Mirage. Christian is the in-section team, so we obviously root for them, but Caleb Runkle is a dual-threat quarterback for the Patriots that is absolutely going to be a blast to watch now that he will get a full season at the helm. Calexico and San Ysidro, two schools hungry for a W early in this. Everyone, see, this is what I'm saying, like verbal crutches. Everyone's hungry for a W early in the season. But I think both of these schools, all of the non-league wins that they can muster up will be massive in terms of playoff seeding. Army-Navy is the quintessential small school stuck in the middle right now. They are, if they win all of the games that they should win, they will receive a higher playoff berth than I think they necessarily are going to be excited about. But you don't want them dropping games also. So it's stuck in a quagmire, but they are armed with a lot of offensive weaponry, pun not necessarily intended, but they are ready to roll this year. TCC and Orange Glen, small school North County matchup should be a lot of fun for two schools that are looking for an offensive identity. Coming out of this one, someone will be one step closer to knowing that. Canyon Hills and Santana is a lot of fun for... I hate these verbal crutches. I'm sorry. Trying to do all of these games without repeating some words is hard, especially, like I said, week 0, when you don't know too much about these teams. But I think Santana is going to be a threat if they can get themselves on a roll early. The official first game in 11-man football for Foothills Christian is Escondido Charter. That is a heck of a test. Escondido Charter is a very good school and will be able to execute well. So curious to see, though, because Foothills Christian has been a championship at the 8-man division the last couple years. Rolling for Southwest El Centro, obviously they are the San Diego team here. We get to a huge game. Not just metaphorically, like it's the first week. This one is massive. Cathedral Catholic and Mater Dei Catholic. I would assume that the lean is toward Cathedral being the defending Open Division finalist, but Mater Dei is a trap game, I think, for everybody because they are a very good school that is trying to maintain that excellence, and they have some ups and downs at different positions. They lose some guys to transfer. They gain some guys. It's an incomplete picture of what they are going to be, but I think they could be a very good team. SFC and Madison, fantastic matchup if this was week 10 of the season, yet we get it week 1. This is a thrill. Madison has a new head coach. SFC, we've talked to some of their players this year. They are very ready for the challenge. Carlsbad and Lakewood. Carlsbad is our section team, so obviously we root for them. We had their quarterback on the show recently. You can check out the whole interview with them. They're ready to roll. They, I think, will be another school that's very much in that mix for Open Division, and they are one that misses no opportunities to take on big opponents from non-section. Probably the game of the week here, Mount Miguel, San Marcos. Mount Miguel, obviously, we've talked ad nauseum about how much talent they have, but San Marcos has it just as much this year. They have a great quarterback in Creep Makaheli. They were a finalist last year. This one should light up the scoreboard. Victory Christian in Castle Park, small school, big school, South Bay matchup. Victory Christian is a school that has playmakers, but we just haven't seen them necessarily string massive amounts of wins together with those playmakers. So I watch them eagerly for their non-league schedule to see what they can do. I'm calling it now. Valhalla is going to be good this year. Maybe not elite, so don't be like, oh, they didn't win the championship. But Valhalla is going to be really good this year, and we're going to see week one of that, installment one of that against San Jacinto. Mission Hills, they are joining Carlsbad in terms of like taking on as many non-league or non-section opponents as they can. Troy Kuhn, their quarterback, is fantastic. This is a big boy schedule that they play, so these are big boy games, and we pull for Mission Hills in this one. Refresher for those of you who are new to the podcast or maybe just don't pay attention, I am a La Jolla alum, and I don't hide it. I'm not an unbiased journalist, so as much as I could give you the preview that Torrey Pines is very good, I just say go Vikings, go for this one. Lincoln traveling to Hawaii to take on one of the best schools out in the islands. Lincoln is very, very good. They're going to have a new quarterback this year, but they are returning a lot of pieces on both sides of the ball, and I think they will continue to be fantastic. A show me game here, Oceanside and Granite Hills. Oceanside has been talking, not like they haven't been tweeting, like trash talking, but their mission is to return to being the Oceanside of old, and this is a game to try and prove that. Whether they win this one outright, lose this one by 10, lose this one by 30, it will tell us something. But any which way, I think that Oceanside is at least competitive in this game, which is fun to set up good vibes for week one. We need all the huge matchups we can get. San Diego and Montgomery, two schools that have been, like, they're two kettles ready to boil over. Both of these schools are ready to make a deep championship run. Both of these programs have been doing it right. Very curious to see what this game looks like week one. El Cap coming off a championship game last year. Mira Mesa looking to continue their resurgence of being the feared Mecca. We'll be curious to see what can happen here with El Cap needing a new quarterback after graduation. Olympian looked fantastic in their scrimmage when I saw them at the SDFNL. They will know how to move the ball. Claremont also very good, but Claremont is a 5AA school this year, so the nod I think will go to Olympian, but I think this one plays into Claremont's hands nicely for strength of schedule and a good proving ground. Mission Bay and Kearney, both excited schools to get the season started. Mission Bay has a lot of hype around their quarterback. Again, they will be able to move the ball pretty well. This will be a good test. Kearney has some playmakers, and I think that, again, this is one where strength of schedule, if they can keep it close, plays well for both schools here. I have been told repeatedly never to sleep on Maranatha Christian and that this might be the best Maranatha Christian team in school history. Coastal Academy, the last time I slept on them, they had their best team in school history, so great matchup no matter what. Fun revenge game from last year. I love in-section big matchups. We've got a couple of them. This one is included for week one. Poway and Scripps Ranch. Looking for Poway to... I get that there's graduation. You can't roll... There's not rollover like, oh, they have the same team coming back from last year. But Poway caught absolute fire in the playoffs last year, and I'm curious if they can catch that earlier in the year. All year long, going to be asking, is Eastlake back? What can Eastlake do to be back? Winning games gets them back. Winning games in the South Bay gets that vibe back. Bonita Vista is a good test for that week one. Hoover's got some pieces to replace from last year, but I think they have the right guys to do it. Question is, how quickly can they get them dialed in? Grossmont had a record-setting offense, but needed some defensive help last year. Patrick Henry is a good test for that this year. Patrick Henry had to graduate some pieces, but also is returning some pieces. So somewhat new-looking offense. UC might put up more points and yards than any other team necessarily in the section this year, and I think it starts with Rancho Christian. If Helix and El Camino could go back to being what Helix and El Camino has been in the past, this would be a fantastic start. Helix, I don't know. We just haven't seen like the Helix that we knew for so long for the last couple of years. One of these years they are going to get back there. We don't know if it's going to be a linear, like they got to win a D2 title, build some momentum into that kind of thing, or if it's going to be exponential that they're just back one day. So going to be watching this one closely. Two schools here excited to get week one dubs and set themselves up for some momentum down the stretch. Imperial is the in-section school, so obviously we root for them, but Darren Hueso is a sophomore. He is going to be a massive talent for Imperial. If they can get some non-league wins, get themselves above 500, get themselves a home game in the playoffs, could be dangerous. RB appears to be back. We had Lucas Winkler on the show. He says the vibes are back. Gage Weddle is now a massively ranked athlete in his recruiting class. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Central graduated a couple of pieces, but I still think that they can be very good. Their Achilles heel is Brawley and playing all the friendly fire that happens out there in the Valley. But if they can rattle up some early season wins, look for them to maintain a good rank. Paris schools here, I'm very excited to see in action. Want to see which one of these two teams can sort of pick up their offensive identity quicker and be ready for a long season. Big game hunting here. I love this. I love all their... verbal tics. I'm sorry, but all of the in-section big school matchups that we can get are fantastic. Del Norte and Point Loma are two schools that are headed in the upward direction. Someone, I guess they could tie, but someone has to take an L here. Do not let that reflect either of these schools. I think Ramona might be building back towards something, but again, Steel Canyon also is headed in that direction, so this will be a good litmus test for both of these squads. I love me some Mount Carmel and Drew Wesleyan. Westview is also a team that I have no enemies with, never had a beef with, so I'm trying to think of other different ways to say, like, I like all these squads, but I think Mount Carmel has a little something here that they're working with this year and is going to try and show some offensive firepower here. Hilltop and Coronado, two schools that keep playing early non-league games. This is a greatly evenly matched lineup. I would say that whoever wins this one is going to have themselves a much-needed notch in the playoff seeding belt. Vista, if they can be good, if they can be great, it's good for San Diego, so let's root for them to rattle off a dub here. Small school, big school, South Bay versus the city, private versus public, everything you want in a fun matchup here. Country Day and Chula Vista tends to be a higher scoring one. Would love to see it maintain that. Mountain Empire is the section team. Go Redhawks. Bishops and Valley Center. The Bishops is where I usually am during the season. My brother-in-law is the defensive coordinator there. The wife likes to go to the games. The intern enjoys running around the track. I will be at this one, so get to go see Valley Center in person. And they're worth the price of admission. Bishops is also going to be very good. Both of these schools, I think, will be a nice test for one another. I don't think that Saints is going to go winless and then back to a championship game this year. I think that it will fare differently, but this is a very hard test for them to try and prove that notion wrong this year. LCC is a fantastic squad and built for another open division run. Go Brawley. Two schools that are trying to bank as many early season wins as they can, but I think that O'Farrell is the story for 5AA, that I am. Them and Claremont and Maranatha, three schools that I'm very interested to see who's going to end up being the favorite there. And that'll do it. 12 minutes to cover all the games. Like I said, not a fantastically in-depth breakdown of everything, but hit the subscribe button on our YouTube for more. Subscribe anywhere and everywhere that you want. I will do my best to chop all this content up, and once we get into the season, I will do my more in-depth area-by-area, team-by-team previews. Thank you, though, for sticking around for the Week 1 podcast. Happy high school football season.